flags polluting the proud Austrian vista. No desperate escape in the dark of night. Rolf never betrayed Liesel. Like me, she had been 16 going on 17, waiting for life to start. Maria and the captain were falling in love. As we patiently waited for them to discover what we already knew, their happily ever after was just as much ours. How could it end with the family on the run, scaling a perilous mountain with nothing but the clothes on their backs? Stories of war were passed around so casually at our dinner table, along with the 1,000-year-old eggs and fermented bean curd. The furtive whispers between my parents of buried gold and photographs left behind in the dead of night, as though someone was still listening in. This was the familiar, well-worn narrative of peasants and farmers caught in the crossfire of war. Surely the same fate couldn't possibly befall the Von Trapp family, with their angelic, unattainable beauty and absurd wealth. How could the will of the outside world turn them out of the charmed lives they lived in their cavernous mansion, one grand enough to accommodate a ballroom that could easily swallow a block of flats like the ramshackle one where I lived? As I thought of all this, I felt myself tremble with the new and profound knowledge that everything could change in an instant, no matter who you were or how much you had. That luck or misfortune could strike at any given moment with the same cold indifference. I sensed something then that would take me years to put into words. "What's that tune you're humming?" Tin had asked, gently coaxing me from my reverie. Turning to nuzzle his neck, I said, "Something good from The Sound of Music. By the glass house, Maria sings it to the captain right after he confesses his love to her. I've always thought that's the way the movie should have ended. Why didn't the director just yell cut and be done with it?" "Because it's inauthentic? But it's meant to be fiction, isn't it? Not a documentary." "Maybe it's a mixture of both." "Do you think so? Aren't the best stories told that way?" Part 1. 1. February 1997. Since Friday, when it became official, the words had been fizzing on the tip of my tongue like popping candy. I have a boyfriend. The notion, novel and extraordinary, surfaced unexpectedly at times, bursting to the forefront of my consciousness, or went in a loop that kept circling back. At times it ended in a question. I have a boyfriend? Swinging wildly between wonder and disbelief. Yet here he was, arm slung casually around my shoulder, walking me to school. Like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. As we continued in our shy, awkward shuffle, I'd never walked with a boy's arm around my shoulder before. We snuck looks at each other, trying our best not to smile. There was the occasional, "What?" and then one of us would laugh a little. Farther along, we came upon two workmen in bright orange vests and hard hats, smoothing out freshly laid cement with their loud, circular machinery. All down the street were yellow plastic barriers set up to form a loose perimeter around their work. Seeing how the men were distracted, I crouched down, picking up a twig by my feet. "What are you doing, I?" "Cover me." I tossed a furtive glance over my shoulder to check on the workmen again. Then, twig firm in hand, I etched in our names. Later, I recounted this thrilling act of vandalism to my friends during lunch break as we sat under our big tree. Asim and I thought of it as ours from the moment we had staked our claim on this spot, all the way back in the 7th grade, when all the newly formed groups were in their migratory phase. We could have just as easily ended up by the school canteen, with its noisy rush of foot traffic, or the back paddock, which offered little protection from the elements. Instead, we were safely tucked away in our cozy nook, sandwiched between the library and language block. During the hot, sticky summers, our tree provided us with plenty of shade. When it rained, we simply moved from the tree to the library steps, to shelter under its generous